What it do, Grizz Nation? It's your boy Evan Hayes, the co-host of the No Bluffing Podcast, and I'm back with another post-game bounce. It's I'll be reviewing last night's game. It's the Memphis Grizzlies took on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'll be going over my positives, my negatives, and my overall insights on the game. But first, a quick little rundown. The Grizzlies lost last night's game 141 to 125 to push their record to 47 and 33 on the season and putting them back in the play-in at 7th in the Western Conference. And now they're in a three-way tie with the Warriors and the T-Wolves for the 6th seed in the Western Conference. I'm against all that, but first I have to just a quick little reminder, a quick little apology. If I sound a little hoarse and I look a little tired, it's because I was actually in the building last night. I was at the game, live in the living quarter. I'm a very passionate Grizzlies fan. I was cheering my head off, trying to give the guys as much energy as I could. So I'm a little tired. I sound a little hoarse. So y'all just got to bear with me. We're gonna get through it. The key contributors for the Grizzlies, Jaren was the team high scorer with 36 points and 6 assists. Desmond Bane had 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Jaren Jr. had 23 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Scottie Pippen Jr. had 16 points and 4 assists. And Zach Edey rounded out the key contributors for the Grizzlies with 7 points and 9 rebounds. For the T-Wolves, Anthony Edwards had a great night with 44 points, 7 of 11 from 3, and 13 from 19 from the floor overall. He also got to the free throw line a lot, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Julius Randle had 31 points and 10 rebounds on a big night. Nas Reed had 14 points. Rudy Gobert had a very solid 13 points and 8 rebounds. Grizz's favorite Mike Conley had 8 points and 9 assists. And Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 10 points apiece to round out the key contributors for the Grizzlies. For the Timberwolves, I'm going to be honest. This is going to be a little different type of review, at least for me, because no one I was in the building and because of the magnitude of this game, I'm going to speak on for what I saw in the building and also from a more negative perspective because this game was so big and I feel like we left a lot on the floor. So before I get into my main points, I give a few honorable mentions of reasons why the game went the way that it went. Number one, I'm not a guy person that likes to blame the refs for how things go during the game, but it was very much lopsided during this game. The Timberwolves shot 25 from 20 from the free throw line, while the Grizz only shot 15 from 21. In a game so tightly contested like this, or a very highly anticipated game like this, that 7 free throw difference definitely makes a big difference on how the team goes and how guys are being played. Jaren Jr. and Zach Edey got into foul trouble early. They both had 4 fouls very early in the third quarter that basically just threw their whole game off. So the refs were terrible, at least not in the Grizzlies' favor, so I have to point that out. And also, I have to unfortunately say, also one more point, Ja Morant only shot 7 free throws last night, and Anthony Edwards shot 13. Both of those guys, as we know, are very dynamic players that love to play downhill, love to get to the point. But it seemed like the whistle for Ja Morant was a lot more restricting than it was for Anthony Edwards. I have to point that out. It didn't help. We didn't play a great game, but it didn't help. I also have to mention, inside the arena, the crowd was kind of dead. I was in the arena. I expected this to be a jam-packed, damn near sold-out game, but there was a lot of open seats from the terrace level all the way down to lower bowl. So I'm kind of disappointed that Grizz Nation didn't show out the way that we did. Yes, it's a Thursday night. Yes, it's a school night and it's a weeknight for a lot of people across the city. But I honestly thought that the team needed that extra boost of energy and we could have some more people in the building. That's neither here or there. Hopefully on Sunday against the Mavericks for the last home regular season game of the season, we packed the game out. But my first point, negative point, is the three-point defense / overall defense. Minnesota shot 20 from 44 from 3. They had way too many open looks and very, 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 very way too many layups. We were practically praying that they missed. Anthony Edwards was getting everything he wanted. Jaden McDaniels got a lot of open shots. Nas Reed, Dante DiVincenzo, Mike Conley. Seemed like they were just getting wide open. It's been a thing that's been plaguing the Grizzlies all year. And after the change of Tomas Islo, we saw the defense tightening up a little bit, but again, some of those old habits reared its ugly head and led was a big reason why this team lost this game. And it didn't seem like Minnesota was doing anything great. It's just guys weren't guarding. There was a lot of pick and roll and one-on-one defense that the Grizzlies did a very poor job of guarding. The Minnesota basically ran this offense. They had a high screen and roll with Ant Edwards or just the main guard. The Grizzlies would double or hedge very heavy, and that would lead a very much disadvantage on the backside. They would pass, and they'll either get to an open shooter or open layup. That was Minnesota's whole offense, and the Grizzlies just couldn't seem to figure out and couldn't seem to counter. Going to playoffs, you really need, I'm trying to find the right word to say, you really need to buckle down on the defensive end, because when the game slows down, you need to get stops. You can't give up 23s on a night and give up 44, and most of those shots were open. So defense was abysmal. I know Vince Williams talked about it. Sunset Adama talked about it in the post game. Jaren even said a very notable quote that I'll get to later. Defense was terrible. And speaking of that, the defense in the third quarter was very much terrible. The Grizzlies got outscored in the third quarter, 52-25. The Grizzlies actually up in this game at the end of the first half, 72-67. But at the end of the third quarter, it was 119-97. That is completely inexcusable. 52 points in the single quarter is a Minnesota Timberwolves franchise record. That is undoubtedly unexcusable. Giving up almost 150 points on your home floor in a very pivotal game is a recipe for disaster. You're not going to win a lot of those games, and you see what happened tonight. My second point, and the one I'm going to try not to spend so much time on, is I don't feel like this team collectively stepped up to the challenge. I mentioned before, the only guys I feel like were dialed in throughout the whole game was Ja Morant and Scottie Pippen Jr. Desmond Bane had on the stat sheet, had a great game. He had 28 points, but he had 24 of those points in the first half. He dang near disappeared in the second half. Julius Randle, he pretty much outplayed Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santiago Adama by himself. Neither one of those guys took the challenge to guard him, shut him down. We knew Anthony Edwards was going to get off, especially with, unfortunately, Jalen Wills being out the lineup and Brandon Clark. Everyone in the arena knew Anthony Edwards was going to get his. Would you want him to go for 44 points? No. But Anthony Edwards, he's a great player. He's a top 10, top 15 player in the league, so he's going to get his. But when you have the secondary star in Julius Randle getting off for a 31-10 double-double, when arguably you have two guys that are better than him, or if not on his level, that's inexcusable. You can't have that. One thing this team really needs going to playoffs is, number one, is identity and some personal pride, which I feel like this team has, but on a more consistent basis. But you need consistent energy. You need consistent defense. You need guys that you know exactly what you're getting from. And things like Desmond Bane having a very hot first half and disappearing in the second half, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santiago Adama not playing great defense on the guy. Vince Williams, who we really expect to step into that Jalen Williams role and shut down the other team's best player, he had a very bad game. You can't have that. All I'm saying, the energy throughout the game did not meet the moment. With us having the opportunity to control our own destiny, we fumbled it. As simple as way as that. This Minnesota team, in my humble opinion, is not better than this Grizzlies team, presently constructed. But because our energy was up and down throughout the game, we didn't take care of business on both ends of the floor. Now we're in a situation where we have to win out. We have to go take a long flight to Denver tonight and play a back-to-back, win against Denver, win against Dallas, and hopefully we get some help so we can avoid the play-in. I'm not saying that it's all doom and gloom and the season's over, but you just had a very big opportunity to cement yourself in the playoff picture. And unfortunately, you didn't do that. And there's still some time left, but it was a big opportunity missed. My last point, that Thomas Islo has to find another guy, another role player to make up some of the slack, especially when the stars aren't all on one accord. One of the biggest issues this team has always had is having Ja, Jaren, and Dez all working on one accord at the same time. John Dez, for the most part, had a great game, but Jaren was not mentally locked in, was not engaged throughout the whole night. He got in foul trouble. His body language was off. So when that happens, you need another guy outside of Scottie Pippen Jr. to make up some of that slack. Luke Kennard got a DNP tonight, which is very interesting. He didn't, even in garbage time, he didn't see the floor. But you can see the difference is in our box score and Minnesota's box score. They had guys outside of the main stars to contribute and make timely buckets and get time stops in defensive end. We just don't have that right now. I would recommend GG Jackson, but GG Jackson also in the doghouse. But Islo has to find out really fast who he can go to and who can he depend on in the lineup, in the starting lineup and on the bench to give him what he needs to get wins, because it's do or die time. But that's pretty much all I have. We are in a must-win game against Denver tomorrow. The Grizzlies have to come with a different type of energy, and I will leave y'all with the quote that Ja Morant said when he was asked about what the adjustment needs to be going into Detroit's going to Denver's game. He said, "Play some effing defense and get a win." It's that simple. I agree with Ja Morant, and I really hope we can go into Denver with a better attitude, better energy, and get a much-needed win on the road. But that's all I have. Please follow me at E11Hayes. Please follow everyone on the Blood City Media Network. It's a very exciting time. Playoffs are right around the corner. We need y'all tapped into what everyone's doing on the Blood City Network. And we're going to continue to bring you some fire content. I apologize again for the raspy voice and the tiredness, but I wanted to bring out this video very quickly to y'all, so hope y'all enjoyed it. That's all I have. As always, go Grizz.